Hi folks, welcome to Inclusive Driving. In this video we're going to try and demystify all those lines on spiral roundabouts. So when you approach a spiral roundabout, we usually see a road sign at the side of the road. It gives you the map of the roundabout, and we have to know where we're going. We have to know what road number we want, or what destination we want, or ideally both. And these exits on the roundabout are going to be labelled. So for example, the A12 might run both directions across the roundabout. Let's just for the sake of argument call this the A41, and I've run out of room on here. This is unrehearsed and unprepared, remember. Let's just write up there the A63 for example. So as we're approaching this roundabout, let's draw our road. We want to make an intelligent guess as to which lane we want to start with. So generally anything on this half of the roundabout is probably going to be using the left lane on approach. Anything on the right hand side is more likely to be using the right hand side on approach. So the road markings we're likely to see in the left lane will probably be A12 and A63. Just to clarify the fact that we've got the A12 going in two directions, this might have a direction as well, for example W for west. This roundabout, or this lane sorry, is likely to have the road markings A41 and A12 east. And those extra letters for east, west, north and south are normally put in brackets. So we can use an intelligent guess to start with. As we get closer to the roundabout, one of the lanes might split. Generally, if you are in a lane that has two different road numbers in it, expect that lane to split either on approach to the roundabout or maybe on the roundabout. So an example here could be that the A12 goes to this lane because it's further around the roundabout, and the A41 could be this lane. If this lane was to split, then whichever exit comes first, the A12 will naturally be the left, and the next exit will be to the right. So on approach we make an intelligent guess as to which lane to start with based on how far the roundabout it is, and then we look for road markings to confirm if our guess is correct, and we just adjust sideways if necessary. So let's look at the things that can happen when you are actually on the roundabout, because these are the lines that maybe confuse most people. Let's draw that roundabout. So on approach we have a couple of lanes here. The left lane is always going to be okay to turn left, otherwise you'd get tangled up with other traffic. Now what happens generally on spiral roundabouts is that at about the 12 o'clock position from your point of view, so that's going to be about here, a new lane generally spirals out from the curbstones in the middle which is why they're called spiral roundabouts. Generally, you don't want to take that new lane. This lane is actually intended for people coming into here to help guide them to their destination. If we look at the road markings for us, this will generally do this pattern. So you can see here, if I draw in the other exit, the left lane allows you to go to the first exit. It also allows you to go to the second exit. Doesn't let you go any further because you would be crossing over this line. And if we look at this, let's draw in these permitted direction, perhaps in red. Look at where the right lane can go without crossing any lines. It allows you to go there, or it allows you to go there, or in fact it does allow you to go all the way around in that case as well. Let's just tidy this up a little bit. But you can see that in the left lane we can't go any further than the second exit because we would get tangled up with this traffic. If we were trying to go there, there'd be a big collision happening there. If you're approaching in the right lane, that does allow you to turn second exit or the third exit. Now the thing that generally makes them look more confusing than they need to be is that we have lane guides not just for you but for everybody else as well. So if we think about traffic coming out of this road, well, they need some road markings as well, don't they? And if we draw their road markings on, then we've got lines crossing all over the place here. So traffic coming from here is following this dotted line, but they're crossing over this one. What's often done is these are turned into dots, just as we've got here. Generally you are allowed to cross over dots, but you're not allowed to cross over the long lines. So that's the basic anatomy of a spiral roundabout. And so just to make it more complicated now, I've tried to recreate one of the roundabouts in Wolverhampton. I've tried to do it from memory. It's probably not accurate. But this lane is marked as A41 and it has an arrow pointing to the left, so we can only go to the first exit from this lane. The middle lane and the right lane, if we follow those lines, they both allow us to go to the ring road. Let's put RR for ring road. So this is going to have a straight arrow. It doesn't allow us to go anywhere else without crossing lines. So it will have just the straight arrow. This lane, without crossing any lines, well, it allows us to go to the ring road. It allows us also to go to the city centre. So it's going to have city centre and ring road marked in there, and it will have a straight and a right arrow in there. Now look what happens here. This is something that commonly happens, and this is where people do get confused. This lane, the right lane, let's draw it in red just to try and make it stand out a little more. At this point, we can follow to the ring road. if we're continuing round to the right, it splits into 2 lanes, and we can choose whether to go to that one or whether to go to that one. The temptation is that you don't count your exits as you go and you cling to the right unnecessarily. Just watch out. There's some markings missing here, so whenever there's a gap, it's generally telling you that that lane might split into 2, just as it does here. Something similar happens here. We can go to there, or we can go to there. Whenever a new lane spirals out from the middle, generally we don't want it. We generally want to stay out of that. And so this lane would allow us to go there. This lane would allow us to go there. Complicated things. I hope that's cleared it up a little bit for you. So we want to make an intelligent guess on the approach to the roundabout to figure out which lane we want, and then we're going to use the road markings compared to the road sign to confirm our guess is correct. We're generally okay to cross over lines that are going across us, so we can go, you can imagine it going through the gaps in the lane markings, but we're generally not allowed to cross over lane markings, so this would be more of a lane change there. And finally, there will be points around the roundabout where one lane might split into 2, so we're again going to be looking for confirmation of our destination. So where it splits, this lane would be marked as city centre, this one would be marked city centre, and also Ring Road. What I would recommend you do if you are struggling with these spiral roundabouts is to go onto Google Maps, find a roundabout near you and look at the satellite view. So you're looking down from the top and you can see the whole roundabout, you can see the road markings, the layout. So try that, and I hope that's helpful to you, and we'll see you on another video very soon.